Before we go any further, I want you to pause and do just one thing. Subscribe to this channel if you're someone who has ever felt like giving up. If you've ever felt like life was crumbling beneath you. And if you've ever thought maybe, just maybe, God stopped listening. Because this message is for you. This is not just another speech. This is Jesus speaking to the deepest parts of your soul. This is for the woman who cries when no one's watching. This is for the man who feels he has to be strong, but is quietly breaking. This is for the teen who doesn't know if tomorrow is worth facing. This is for the elderly who wonder if God still remembers them. This is for the hurting, the heavy, the hopeless. This is for the one who is about to walk away and needs one reason to stay. Chapter 1. Jesus is closer than you think. You don't need to pretend here. You don't need to fake a smile or act like you've got it all figured out. It's a space. This moment is sacred. It's okay to admit that you're not okay. It's okay to admit that life is heavier than you imagined. It's okay to admit that your heart is tired, that your mind feels overrun, and that sometimes you wonder, God, are you really with me? Let me answer that question not with a theory, not with a shallow cliche, but with eternal truth. Yes, he is. You may not feel him, you may not hear him, you may not see signs, wonders, or immediate answers. But his silence is not his absence, and his delay is not his denial. He is there, not watching from a distance, but sitting in the ashes with you. Chapter 2. When life breaks, there are moments in life that fracture your soul. Maybe you've been there. The night you found out they were leaving, the moment you heard the diagnosis, the day your dreams collapsed under the weight of reality. The quiet hours when depression feels louder than anything in the world. Or maybe it's not one big event. Maybe it's just the day after day after day of feeling like you're not enough. Like nothing changes. Like joy is a distant memory and hope is a cruel joke. You want to pray? But the words won't come. You want to believe, but doubt is choking your faith. You want to fight, but you're just so tired. Jesus understands more than you know. He didn't just come for the perfect, the polished, the well, put together. He came for the ones who are barely holding on. Came for the ones whose faith is hanging by a thread. He came for the ones who are silently screaming for help. Chapter 2. 3. Jesus weeps with youth. Shortest verse in the Bible is just 2 words. Jesus wept. But in those 2 words is a universe of love. He didn't cry because he was weak. He cried because he was moved, because he saw pain and couldn't ignore it. Because when his friend died and the people around him were mourning, even though he knew he would raise the dead, he still entered their grief. He didn't say, "Stop crying, don't you know I'm the Savior?" He didn't say, "Don't worry, you'll get over this." He didn't say, "You should be stronger by now." He wept. He weeps still. When you cry alone in the dark, he is there. When you collapse from the weight of it all, he is beside you. When you think no one could ever understand, he says, "I've been there." He was betrayed. He was rejected. He was abandoned. He was mocked, misunderstood, and murdered by the very people he came to save. And through it all, he never gave up on love. He never gave up on you. Chapter 4. In the midnight hour. Midnight is a strange time. It's technically morning, but everything still looks like night. Some of you are in a midnight season. You've crossed into a new chapter, but it still looks dark. You've said the prayers, but it still feels heavy. You've tried to hold on, but you're not sure what you're holding on to anymore. But in the midnight hour, something sacred happens. That's the moment when God begins to shift things in the silence. That's when chains start breaking before the sun even rises. That's when heaven starts whispering when the world is sleeping. Jesus does his deepest work in the dark. You don't have to see the outcome to trust the author. You don't have to feel strong to keep walking. You don't have to have answers to have faith. You just have to do one thing. Keep breathing. Keep saying, "Jesus, I need you." Keep whispering, "Lord, don't let go," because he won't. He never does. Chapter 5. You are not a lost cause, maybe. You've failed big. Maybe you've fallen into things you've promised you'd never do. Maybe people gave up on you. Maybe you gave up on yourself. Let me say this clearly. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not too dirty. You're not beyond repair. You're not worthless. If you were beyond saving, Jesus wouldn't have come, but he did. He came to rescue, not condemn, to restore, not shame, to revive, not punish. Your past may explain you, but it does not define you. Your failures may be loud, but they don't get the final word. Jesus says, "Behold, I make all things new." Yes, even you, even now, even here, even after everything. 6. When you're tired of trying, let's be honest, trying is exhausting. You try to stay strong for everyone. You try to keep your faith alive. You try to do what's right, even when it costs you everything. You try to smile when you're falling apart. You try to be enough. And you always feel like you're coming up short. Some of you are so tired of trying. You've stopped hoping. You've been waiting for that one breakthrough, that one open door, that one answered prayer. And when it didn't come, something in your soul whispered, maybe God forgot me. Maybe this is just how it's going to be. Maybe I'm not one of the chosen ones. But hear this. God has not forgotten you. He doesn't abandon his children. He doesn't throw people away when they're struggling. In fact, the moments you feel weakest, those are the moments his strength shines brightest. Remember the woman with the issue of blood? She suffered for 12 years. Doctor after doctor, answer after answer, that didn't work. She was done trying, but still, something inside her whispered, if I can just touch the edge of his robe. And Jesus didn't say, you waited too long. He didn't say, you should have come sooner. He didn't say, why are you interrupting me? He turned around. He saw her. He affirmed her. Daughter, he said, your faith has made you well. Jesus still turns around for those the world overlooks. He still calls the tired and the worn-out daughters son. He still honors the ones crawling to him in desperation. Even if all you have left is a whisper of faith, it's enough. Because Jesus isn't measuring your strength. He's offering his. 7. The lie of, I'm not enough. There is a lie that keeps many people stuck in silent despair. I'm not enough. Not good enough. Not holy enough. Not smart enough. Not pretty enough. Not successful enough. Not strong enough. And the more we hear that lie, the more we start believing it. The more we believe it, the more we shrink inside ourselves. We stop praying bold prayers. We stop showing up. Stop fighting for our joy. But here's the truth. You were never meant to be enough on your own. That's the whole point of grace. Grace isn't for the ones who already have it together. Grace is for the ones who are falling apart. Jesus didn't come to affirm perfect people. He came to rescue broken ones. You don't have to be enough, because he is. When you say, I can't, Jesus says, I already did. When you say, I'm not worthy, Jesus says, you're worth dying for. When you say, I've fallen too far, Jesus says, there's no depth. I won't go to rescue you. You're not here by accident. You're not listening to this by coincidence. God is interrupting your despair with a message of hope. You are not disqualified. You are not forgotten. You are not unloved. Asterisk 8. When you can't hear. God, let's talk about silence. There's nothing quite like those seasons when you pray and hear nothing. No voice, no sign, no change, no feeling, just stillness, and it begins to eat at your soul. Did I do something wrong? Is God mad at me? Am I praying wrong? Has God turned his back? Let me remind you of something sacred. Silence does not mean absence. Just because he's quiet doesn't mean he left. Some of the greatest breakthroughs happen after long seasons of silence. Think about Joseph, thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, falsely accused, locked in prison for years. No angel visitations, no burning bush, no prophetic word, just silence. But behind the scenes, God was orchestrating a plan so big, so life-changing, that it would not only rescue Joseph, it would save a whole nation. God doesn't waste pain. God doesn't ignore faith. God doesn't forget his promises. Even when you hear nothing, he is still working. Even when you feel nothing, he is still near. Even when the silence screams, his love remains louder. 9. Your weakness is not a problem for God. We live in a culture that celebrates strength, confidence, and control. But Jesus celebrates something else: surrender. He doesn't ask you to fake strength. He doesn't demand emotional perfection. He welcomes you exactly as you are. Tears, doubts, fears, scars and all. He isn't scared of your questions. He isn't disgusted by your flaws. He isn't disappointed by your breakdowns, in fact. The Apostle Paul once begged God to remove a weakness from his life. He called it a thorn in the flesh. And how did God respond? "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Not in success, not in achievements, in weakness. So if you feel weak right now, congratulations. You're in the perfect place for God to move. Don't hide your pain from Him. Bring it to Him. Don't shut down your heart. Open it. If it's trembling, don't run from Him. Run to Him. Even if all you can manage is a whisper, He will not reject you. He will not shame you. He will hold you. You're not stuck forever right now. It might feel like you're stuck in a season that will never end. Stuck in depression, stuck in grief, stuck in a toxic relationship, stuck in fear, stuck in addiction, stuck in shame. But here's the hope. Where you are now is not where you'll stay. You may feel like you're surrounded by a wall of impossibility, but Jesus is the God who breaks through walls. You may feel like nothing will ever change, but Jesus is the God of resurrection. He specializes in raising what everyone thought was dead. You may feel like your story is over, but Jesus is still writing and He's not done yet. You are walking through a valley, not building a house there. You are in the middle of the book, not at the end. You are in a chapter of pain, not the conclusion of your life. Even if all you can manage today is to breathe, to whisper, "Help me, Jesus." That is enough, because God honors small. Faith, He sees the tiniest effort to reach for Him, and promises those who seek Him will find Him. This is not just a speech, it's a lifeline. Jesus is not finished with you. If you're still breathing, He's still building. Jesus says, when you think everything is falling apart, when you want to give up, chapter 11, Jesus doesn't walk away from ruins when something collapses in your life. What do people usually do? They walk away. When relationships fall apart, people leave. When you lose everything, many disappear. When you fail, they distance themselves. When your life is no longer shiny or impressive, you become invisible to the world, but not to Jesus. He's not afraid of your ruins. He isn't overwhelmed by the mess. He doesn't hesitate when He sees your scars. He doesn't frown when He looks at your brokenness. Instead, He leans in. When you cry out, "There's nothing left," He whispers. "That's where I begin." Jesus walks into the rubble of your life not as a critic, but as a builder. While others mourn the ruins, He starts rebuilding. While others judge what fell apart, He redeems it. Because He doesn't just restore what was lost, He creates something better. Chapter 12. The God who rebuilds. Jesus is not just the God who saves, He's the God who rebuilds. And He doesn't rebuild like the world does. He doesn't slap a coat of paint on your pain and call it fixed. He doesn't patch you up with shallow words or temporary distractions. He rebuilds you from the inside out. He goes into the places others avoid. He reaches into the corners you've hidden. He touches the wounds you thought were too old, too deep, too untouchable, and slowly, patiently, lovingly, He restores. You don't have to rush the process. Healing isn't a race. It's a sacred journey, and Jesus walks every step with you, even the steps that go backward. Even the days you feel numb. Even the nights you cry without words. He is there. Still building, still breathing new life into what you thought was dead. And the best part, He doesn't just give back what you lost, He gives you more. More peace, more clarity, more purpose, more love, more Him. Chapter 13. Peace in the middle of the storm. We often think peace comes when the storm ends, but Jesus offers peace in the storm. Think back to the disciples on the boat. The waves were crashing, the winds howled. The boat was taking on water. And where was Jesus? Asleep. Not because He didn't care, not because He wasn't paying attention, but because He wasn't afraid. and when they woke him, panicked and shouting. He stood up and with a single sentence, calmed the sea. Peace, be still. But here's the part we miss. He didn't just calm the storm outside, calm the storm inside them. That same Jesus speaks to your storm today. To the chaos in your mind, peace, be still. To the fear in your chest, peace, be still. To the anxiety you hide, peace, be still. His peace isn't fragile. It's not based on outcomes. It's not dependent on people. His peace is him, and wherever he is, peace stays. So if you don't feel peace right now, ask him, Jesus, speak peace over me, and he will. Chapter 14. What you lost is not wasted. Let's talk about loss. The time you can't get back. The people who left. The years that feel wasted. The parts of yourself you gave away and never recovered. The missed opportunities. The failed relationships. The shattered dreams. It hurts. It haunts you. And sometimes it hardens you. But Jesus wants you to hear this. Nothing is wasted. Not your tears. Not your pain. Not your disappointment. Not your silence. Not even your mistakes. He is the only one who can take broken pieces and build something. It's more beautiful than before. He is the God who takes graves and makes gardens. He is the God who takes mourning and turns it into dancing. He is the God who takes your worst days and turns them into testimonies. So don't believe the lie that it's too late. Don't fall into the trap of thinking your best days are. Behind you, Jesus is still writing. The ink hasn't run dry. Your story didn't end at the heartbreak. It didn't end at the betrayal. It didn't end at the breakdown. Your story continues, and the next chapters are drenched in grace. Chapter 15. It's okay to start again. Maybe you're afraid to try again. You've hoped before and been disappointed. You've loved before and been left. You've stepped out before and fell flat on your face. You've believed before and felt betrayed by life. So now you're guarded. Tell yourself not to expect too much. You lower your hopes so you won't get hurt again. You numb yourself to avoid more pain. But Jesus gently speaks to you now. You can start again. I'll walk with you this time. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from wisdom. You're not beginning alone. You're beginning with him. He's not rushing you. He's not forcing you. He's inviting you to begin again, to believe again, to dream again, to love again, to live again. You don't have to know how. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to say one word. Yes. Double quotes, yes. Jesus, I'll trust you again.
Yes.
Yes, Jesus, I'll give you my heart again. Yes, Jesus, I'll let you lead me forward. Chapter 16. The light always comes. Here's a promise that never fails. The night always ends. Darkness never gets the final say. The sun always rises. Light always wins. And in your life, no matter how dark it feels right now, the light is coming. The light of clarity, the light of hope, the light of healing, the light of restoration. Jesus is the light of the world. And when he steps into your darkness, everything begins to shift. So hold on. You are closer than you think. You're stronger than you feel. You're more loved than you know. The light is coming, and when it does, you'll look back and say, that season didn't destroy me. It grew me, and Jesus never left me for one moment. Jesus is with you always, no matter what. Chapter 17. The promise that never fails. Life will test you. Storms will come. The ground may shake beneath your feet. But there's one unshakable promise that stands above all others. Jesus will never leave you. He said it himself. I am with you always, even to the end of the age. That means every moment you feel alone, he is there. Every moment you feel weak, he is your strength. Every moment you want to give up, he is. Your hope, his presence, isn't based on your performance, your feelings, or your circumstances. It's based on his character, and his character is love. His character is faithfulness. His character is mercy. No matter what you face, no matter how dark the night, no matter how heavy the burden, Jesus is your forever friend. Chapter 15. The power of resurrection life. Jesus didn't just die. For you, he rose for you. That resurrection power isn't just about the past. It's alive right now. It means there is life after loss. There is hope after heartbreak. There is victory after defeat. The same power that raised Jesus from the dead lives inside you. You are not defined by what's broken. You're defined by what's alive in you. Even when your dreams die, new dreams can be born. Even when your heart is shattered, healing can come. Even when your world falls apart, new life will rise. Because Jesus is not just a part of your story, he is the author of the new beginning. Chapter 19. Walking forward with confidence now. You might still feel fear. You might still feel doubt. You might still wonder if you can make it through. But here's the truth. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to know every step. You just have to keep walking forward with Jesus, and he will guide your steps. He will steady your heart. He will fill you with courage. The journey won't be perfect, but it will be purposeful. And in every step, you are never alone. 20. Your story is still being written. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are not the scars you carry. You are not the disappointments you've endured. You are a child of God, loved, chosen, and redeemed. Your story is still being written. There are pages of joy, healing, and peace ahead. There are chapters of breakthrough, restoration, and victory. Waiting for you, and through it all, Jesus walks beside you. Your constant, your refuge, your king. If you feel broken today, know this. Jesus loves you as you are. If you feel hopeless, know this. Jesus gives hope that never fades. If you want to give up, hear this. Jesus will never give up on you. Hold on. Keep fighting. Keep trusting, because with Jesus, everything is possible, even when everything feels like it's falling apart. Thank you for listening to this full message. If it touched your heart, please subscribe and share it with someone who needs hope. Remember, Jesus is with you always.